Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Good evening. I'd like to start by asking if you're a Christian Muslim. If you're Muslim, you say Fataha for my sister. If you're a Christian, I not say whatever you believe in. Um, a prayer for my sister. She passed away today. But I thought I would come on here because I've been coming on and address kind of world news. This is a drunk style shirt, one of the best shirts I ever purchased. But my thoughts on the way things are going. I read this thing about Zohan, and they keep saying he's a socialist. I guess he says he's a socialist. But something I was thinking about, all these other people who are Democrats and Republicans actually work for Israel or have either dual citizenship or get paid by APEC or even AOC, who's supposed to be progressive and everything else, voted no. But Margaret Taylor Greene didn't. I don't understand it. Anyway, she voted no to stop $500 million in more funds going to Israel, even though she didn't get paid by APEC. Every senator in the state of New York gets paid by them, except for her, and she still voted for the cause. My biggest question is, Trump running on this America First thing. What is America first? What is America great in? If you're European American or white or even Caucasian, you believe that at some point since 1776, our country's been great. I would like to point out that if your family's ever come from like the hills of Kentucky or Tennessee, the Appalachia Mountains, um, it wasn't great for them. It was really hard. If you were Irish and you came here, you usually lived in the slums. If you were lucky, you became, uh, you know, an overseer. And I say lucky with the hinge of, as you heard my people, you became an asshole for other people and the violent abuser for other people. You know, the only time it's really been great for anybody in this country is if you were upper class in European America. During the Great Depression, white people, black people, brown people, yellow people, everybody suffered except for rich white people. When I look at today's politics and today's politicians, I don't see anybody who's really working for America. If you voted for Trump based on making America great again, first we have to examine when was America great. And it wasn't great for everybody. The indigenous population of this country, there were supposedly about 500 million before people came here on the Mayflower. Now the tribes living on reservations, some of them getting deported now by ICE. I mean, realistically, like Navajo Ranch has no electricity, running water, or anything else, and some parts still don't. The Lakota and the Dakotas have no electricity, no water. Sometimes their living conditions are horrible, and we we put them in Indian schools, cut their hair, took their language. The children were raped. We found at this point, I think it was like 10,000 children who had just been killed and buried. Um, what African Americans, they supposedly gained their freedom, and it was the you know declaration in what 64, 65, 18. It's 2021, and black folks are still getting hung like on in the streets, and nobody's seeing it. And they're saying, "Oh, it's suicide." Bullshit. That's not suicide. When has America ever been great? One thing we have to do is get past the color of it, get past the whatever that is causing In Arabic, it's called fitna. Whatever is causing problems between people. And the Quran says, "I made you into different nations so that you come together and know each other." And I mean, as somebody descended from millennials, we went through eugenics in the 1920s and 30s. Black folks went through eugenics in the 1930s and below. You had the Tuskegee experiments. You had I mean, when has it ever been great? We have to define, first of all, what is greatness? It's been okay. It's been little. People lived, some people, in Tulsa and many other places, Arkansas specifically, where people really had the 40 acres and a mule. They they built up everything. The Freedmen Act created all the black people that did toss Oklahoma because people forget that was Indian territory. They grew into something, and then white people came along and decided, we're not going to allow this. But they were just as miserable because you destroyed all this stuff, but you didn't replace it with anything of equal value. So when has America been great? I have served this country twice, technically three times, and I don't understand what are we looking for? We say we don't want to socialize Zohan in New York and da da da. Everything he's saying is for Americans and to help Americans. All the other politicians want to give money to Israel or their own pocket. When are we going to start waking up and realizing, one, the American greatness is a myth? Um, Propaganda said we were the best country in the world, yada yada yada. If you were white, it was a great country. If you came here and you were of color, you came here and there was issues. If you were Asian, African, Arab, anything but didn't look white, it was not pleasant. It is not pleasant. And now they talking about charging $100 to $1,000 for a family to come to America. Why would you pay to come somewhere? Have you been to Detroit? Have you been to New York? Have you been to some of these cities where they've done nothing, absolutely nothing for the cities for years and years and years? It looks like Gaza in some of these places. And what are we doing here? We need to really reevaluate what we think is great, first of all. How do we get to where it's great? And how do we bridge the disunity that we have? It's odd when, sorry, this is so long, you have to go to my YouTube probably to watch all of it. But when the autobiography of Malcolm X came out with Spike Lee and had Public Enemy, you know, doing all the things all the songs like Fight the Power and everything else, while black folks wore the African emblem on their chest, they had the X's on their clothes. But there was a lot more, I want to say, the unity. Wasn't so much unity is sometimes you just got to leave people the hell alone. Let them do what they want to do. Let them be them. It doesn't matter what they do in their bedroom, their house, their whatever. It doesn't matter where they come from. It doesn't matter what they believe. A human is a human. Respect them as that. And move the hell on. Like, seriously. We got to get past being in everybody's business and caring what everybody thinks. When people was fighting the power and people was really into knowing about themselves, at least in my community, which was 38th and Post and 42nd and Post in Indianapolis, Indiana, it was a great thing. It didn't really matter what color you was, as long as everybody was getting along. Everybody stayed in their own business, their own lane. It was what it was. We really got to get past some of this stuff and move on, man. Because if you want America to be great, first thing we have to do is get rid of all the pedals that are in charge of everything. Second thing we got to do is reestablish law is equal and just across the board, and not just some kind of flim flam for whoever has money. We need anybody who's a career politician to be removed. Your literal oath of allegiance has to be only to America. And if you can't oath to America and mean it for America, shouldn't be running for politics anymore. Those are just my thoughts. Hopefully, you get to see all this. It'll be on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Have a nice day.